Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. This is episode 346, as well as day 346 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days in a row, all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,500 miles within this time frame, and to run 2 major races within this time frame as well. One of those races being a 50K ultramarathon trail race. That was the Yankee Springs 50K trail race out in Middleville, Michigan. That was on day 156 of my journey. I was able to actually finish that 31-mile race within 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds, which was a personal record for me. The next race that came up within this yearly time frame was the Detroit Free Press Marathon. That was on day 290 of my journey, and I was able to finish that marathon, 26.2 mile race within 3 hours, 57 minutes, and 28 seconds. That as well being a personal record for me. So both of these races this year were personal records. Was very excited to complete both of those and to keep the run streak alive ever since. So now we're here on day 346, and we're going to break down today's mileage, the weekly mileage, the monthly mileage so far, and so far the yearly mileage after today's 3.2 mile run. It's actually a 3.1 mile run. So for the day today, day 346, I got out there and put in 3.1 miles. That put me at 16.7 miles for the week this week, which put me at 37.6 miles for the month, which put me at 1,612.9 miles for the year. So you'll notice that I surpassed the 1,500 mile goal that I had set for this year. We are now currently at 1612.9, so we're 112.9 over the goal. The original goal at the start of the year was 1,250. We surpassed that, so we changed it to 1,500. Now we surpassed that. We don't have an official goal now with only 19 days left. Don't want to go too crazy with it. Originally was going for 1,750, but I'm kind of nursing my left foot, so kind of just kicked it back and just saying we end up where we end up. So currently at 1612.9 for the year. I do want to quickly focus in on these monthly miles of 37.6, and that is because every single month I do challenge myself to run a 100-mile challenge. And I do that in honor of a charity in which I donate money to, as well as raise money and awareness for throughout that month. So for the first 11 months, was able to raise money and awareness for 11 great charities. Now we're here within the 12th month of December, and we're raising money and awareness for yet another great charity, that charity being St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So if you would like to donate or help spread awareness for this month's charity, you can find the link to do so on the Defining Discipline Instagram story or the Defining Discipline Facebook story, or my personal page's Instagram story, or my personal page's Facebook story. Within those stories, all you got to do is click on the link in which it'll open up the actual Facebook page where you're able to make your donations and be able to share this month's fundraiser. Keep in mind that all money and donations that get donated to this fundraiser go directly to this cause. It all goes to St. Jude's. Facebook is not taking any percentage or portion of your donations. I do want to let everyone know that and keep that in mind, because even though they are the middleman, they will not be taking any percentage or portion. A lot of companies will be taking a cut out of those contributions in order to, as a fee. Facebook is not doing that at all. So keep that in mind, knowing that all of your donations are going directly to this cause. And again, this month it's a great cause. It is St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So just kind of wanted to touch on that. We are currently sitting at 37.6 miles for the month. So got quite a bit of ways to go, not even halfway there, and we're approaching the halfway mark of the year. So we really got to pick up on these miles here. But this week was a pretty good light week to kind of nurse my leg back into health. As you can tell, we're at 16.7 miles for the week. A nice low week. I think next week we're going to try to pick it up here again. Nothing too crazy, nothing too intense, but definitely add some mileage and try to really get ready to kind of surpass that 100-mile challenge. So we're going to try to kick back into it here starting next week, which starts tomorrow. So now that we got mileage out of the way, we've kind of discussed what the challenges have been for the year. I haven't talked about all the challenges, so I guess I can just touch on them here. We're kind of closing out the year, so we'll talk about the other challenges I've kind of came across this year. But we'll do that actually in the episode. So before we get into today's actual episode, we are going to do one more quick thing, and that is go over today's actual word of the day from Merriam-Webster. And it is enigma. An enigma is someone or something that is difficult to understand or explain. That is today's word of the day today, enigma. Now, let's get into today's actual episode 346, day 346. Today's theme for today's episode is active. And before we get into the main meat and potatoes of today's episode, we will touch on, like I said, some of these other active challenges that I've had going on throughout this year. Some have been doing great with, especially with the running. Some I have kind of just laid to the wayside, and I'm a little disappointed. I was actually thinking about it here just earlier today and yesterday, how I kind of really fell off that and kind of really disappointed myself this year with it. And one of those was actually trying to read a lot more and read a couple books this year. I don't even think I've read one full book this year. Last year, I think I read four maybe, which is a huge amount for me. So I really wanted to kind of step up my game this year with reading books, and I've kind of really failed at that. So that was kind of upsetting. Again, when I started this podcast, it was kind of to try to have as many guests on as possible. When doing daily episodes, I realized that wasn't going to be as easy as I thought. So that was kind of another active challenge that I had for myself that I kind of really, pooped the bed in. So those are a couple ones that never kind of followed through. But there's some other ones that I kind of went through this year that was really exciting. So obviously we're doing the every single day. We're closing in on accomplishing that. I wanted to run those two major races while doing the run streak, which was the 50K, the 31-mile race, and the marathon, which I did both those, completed both those, and was very content with both of those times. I'm not going to say very content with the first time. I definitely wanted to shave off a lot more time on that 7-hour, 15-minute, and 22-second 31-mile race, but I was happy with it being my first ever 31-mile race. So was able to get those challenges done on top of hitting the original 1250-mile mark, pushing it to 1500, being able to hit that. Those were great challenges to be able to get there. Like I said, now we're closing in on the yearly challenge, but throughout that as well, I set myself up for some just crazy off-the-wall challenges. In February, for a month straight, I think it was like February 2nd to like March something, I did the 33 God Bod challenge, which was to do 33 push-ups and 33 sit-ups every single day for 33 days straight while running at least 33 miles per week. That is what I actually did for 33 days straight. I ran 33 miles each week while doing 33 push-ups and 33 sit-ups every single day. So that was like at the very beginning of the year. I challenged myself to that challenge. I also challenged myself at the beginning of the year to run at least a half marathon every single month, which so far I have accomplished. I have ran a half marathon every single month. But there was just a little bit here and there ones in July, I believe. That should be 7, right? Yeah, July. I challenged myself to a 7-11 challenge that I made up in my own head. I still did it, and it's not an actual 7-11 challenge is what I mean. I made it up myself. And what it entailed was me to run 11 miles to 7 different 7-Elevens in the area. So I ran to 7 different 7-Elevens within 11 miles, all while fueling on Slurpees. So those were a couple of challenges, active, and ones that I did throughout the year that kept me active. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes of actually today's episode. Kind of just been babbling off here. Today's episode is active, and that is because being active is one of the most important things you can do. And I realized this, and it took me a long time to realize this. But the more I realize it, the more I've been trying to put more and more on my plate, as you can tell with these crazy challenges that I've just went over. Anything to keep myself out there being active and pushing myself forward and continuously doing things. It's very, very important. And for a long time, I didn't want to be active. I just wanted to sit around. I wanted to play video games all the time. I wanted to party all the time. I didn't want to do anything that was actually good for me. And it wasn't until I kind of really changed that mentality and trying to figure out a way to continuously be active and stay active that really kind of turned my life around. And again, the importance of being active and staying active. And sometimes, like I said, you got to give yourself these little challenges in order to continue, because it's not easy to stay active. It does get addicting. Now I'm on this streak where I'd feel more depressed and upset if I didn't run, as opposed to me going out there and running. There's plenty of days where I don't feel like running. I hate it. I dread it. But I know I would feel 100 million times worse if I ruined my streak just because I didn't want to get out there and run a mile and a half. So you get to this point where you rely on being active, and it's almost a crutch in order to continue, and that's something that I've realized. And again, it's not always easy to get out there and make yourself be active. It's not always easy to get the motivation to get up and get out there. And one way I think it's truly helps me out is to do these little challenges, to really push myself to see what I'm made of, not challenge myself to overcome someone else or race someone else or be better than someone else, but set up these, I love the app Strava for the fact that they give you run challenges of run this many miles within this week, or do this with this many elevation change. They got all these different little challenges, and you can win little prizes and little badges. That's kind of how it started for me, and then started making my own challenges. All right, I want to run every single day this year. Okay, I want to run this many miles this year. Okay, I want to run, and setting up these goals to attain kind of set me out on a active lifestyle, an active pathway. And I'm so grateful for where I have been going and where I'm ending up. And I just want to continuously push forward and stay active as much as possible. And it's been such a lifesaver for me. I know right now it's not that big of a deal with my baby only being 8 months, but all I can imagine is the older she gets, for me to be able to keep up with her, to play with her, and to stay active, and to really be able to stay on her level with, if she's playing sports, I want to be able to go run with her and go do things with her, like actually active things with her, and have good fun times with her, and not just rely on sitting on a couch and watching TV or things like that. Or, if something happens and I have to chase her down, I want to be able to get her and catch her. So I'm trying to stay as active as possible to be for my daughter as well. And one thing I wanted to really touch on with being active here is one thing I do notice a lot of people talking about: knee problems, foot problems, ankle problems. There's a lot of problems out there, and I don't want to disclude anyone's, or not disclude. I don't want to discourage. I don't know. That's not even the right word. I can't even think of the word right now. I don't want to make anyone's claims not true, or I'm not trying to say that what they're liars or anything like that. There are a lot of people out there with personal problems, but I am a true believer that if you don't use it, you lose it. I think A lot of people with knee problems, yes, it could be from overuse, tendonitis, and stuff like that. I get it. But a lot of problems could also be from underuse or misuse. And again, I truly, truly believe the more you work on your body, the stronger it becomes. So, a lot of people told me I'm going to ruin my knees, I'm going to do this, and because I'm running so much, and truly my body has only continuously getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and I'm grateful for that. And people are always asking me, aren't you worried about your knees? Aren't you worried about that? If you do it properly and you do it right and you stretch and you try to take care of your body and you listen to your body, I think you can really improve your body. And again, that's something, just being active. I'm a big believer on, if you don't use it, you lose it. So if you want the best thing you do for any part of your body, for anything of your body, doesn't matter if it's joints, your heart, whatever, it's to stay active, because even your mental capacity, if you don't keep it active, if you don't go out there and do something every single day that's keeping your brain moving, you're going to start losing your brain function. Conversation, if you don't talk as much to people or have conversations with people, you're going to lose that ability to have those conversations. And that's something that I've even noticed. You got to remain active within everything in your life if you don't want to lose it. So that is another thing I've kind of really realized over these past few years, and I've been trying to really spread out where I'm putting my attention in trying to become more active in. I feel like I am becoming less and less more communicative with people, so I'm trying over these past few years to really put myself in those situations where I do have to talk more and I have to speak up more and do things like that. So I don't want to lose anything from not using it. So that's something that I've also really kind of been trying to follow. So I truly believe that the more you use something, yes, you can overuse it and injure it and take it to a place it doesn't want to be. But there is a fine line between overusing it and underusing it. They're both very, very bad for you. The main thing is to remain a perfect amount of active with it and to really build that muscle up. Don't overuse it, don't underuse it, but continuously remain active. You do not want to become stagnant and frail. So that's something at least I don't want to do, and that's something I've been working on. And again, it's been very, very helpful throughout these past few years of remaining active on my body, physically and mentally. It's done so many wonders for me, and I'm grateful again for every day that I have had and was able to go out there and run. And I've ran at so many cool different places throughout this year. It's been such a cool thing to get out there and run just every single day. And I've ran in a couple different states this year. I've ran in different cities, a couple colleges. It's just been cool to go explore all across the state of Michigan and these different states that I've ran in to really just go put in the miles and remain active. It's a good feeling. So I'm going to close today's episode out because it's kind of getting a little bit longer here. So for your daily discipline today, day 346, it is to be active. It is to remain active. It is to get out there and start using it before you lose it. And if you are losing it, start using it. Honestly, it's never too late. Yes, it may seem like an uphill battle, and it probably will be. Maybe your knees are shot, but maybe there's some different stretches and workouts that you can do that can start to bring them back a little bit. Maybe there's a couple, that was just an example with knees, but there's so many different things and routes you can take as long as you're really remaining active and trying to really push yourself. And again, it doesn't have to be joints. It doesn't have to be anything like that. It could just be, remaining persistent, just going out there and putting in that work. That is your daily discipline for the day today. Other than that, I do want to thank you guys so much for following along and listening. Day 346 days of me babbling to you guys, 346 days in a row of me just running. So it's been a crazy journey. We are almost fully through the year. It's insane to think. And then we're going to be transitioning into next year. It's going to be a lot different format. Definitely probably not going to be posting like this, talking to you every single day. I will be probably posting the runs every single day and doing maybe a video through the Instagram, a quick, minute, just like I've been doing, just like a quick talking while running, whatever the case may be. But um, the daily podcast check-ins will probably go to the wayside, and we're going to probably have a different format going forward. But really looking forward to that as well. But this is episode 346, day 346 of the Defining Discipline podcast. I am your host, Scott. And if you guys can, please give this podcast a like, a subscribe, a follow, and a share. You can do that on our Facebook, our TikTok, our Instagram, our YouTube, and whatever other podcast streaming platform you have been or may have been listening and following along on. Other than that, guys, get your daily discipline done if you guys can. Get your donations in for St. Jude's. That is the 100-mile challenge charity for this month. And other than that, until tomorrow, peace out. Thanks, guys.